The Whitney and Betty MacMillan Center for International and Area Studies at Yale fosters a deeper understanding of the world and its people through research, education, and international study. MacMillan advances learning in and across societies and disciplines with the goal of creating a more informed, inclusive, and flourishing world.
MacMillan brings disciplinary breadth and linguistic, religious, cultural depth to the study that really reflects all of the university's schools and all of the rich diversity in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. It provides resources for all of the students and faculty to do their own research and teaching. It provides a convening point for faculty across the university, whatever their areas of interest, to meet each other, to bring their different disciplinary and area studies approaches to the study of particular issues, whether those issues are historical, of perennial concern, or contemporary issues.
I began the prologue to my new book, The Motherhood on Ice, by doing a little bit of a comparison, like what's happened in the Middle East. Gender relations are improving, people really desire, hope, wish, want to be together in marriage and have children, loving children, wanting that for the most part. What's happened in America where those ambitions seem to be sort of in decline?
Whenever we talk about Buddhism, and we have the certain set of assumptions, right? Buddhism is about celibacy, monastic community, meditation, and reaching enlightenment. I question how much we know by assuming Buddhism as such. If we bring in this very interesting family Buddhism into the picture, then how can we define Buddhism?
And part of the larger conversation is on transitions, post-carbon world. Transitions. We need to think more carefully about transition for who, post-carbon for who. What happens to these communities in places such as the Niger Delta of Nigeria? The fact that we move away to renewable energy from oil does not address the problems of communities in the Niger Delta.
How can we work on this aspect of social justice? How might we work on that aspect of repairing the past to the extent we can? How might we work on that policy question by doing more history beneath it? How should universities look at their own past?
This area of research, which until recently used to be on the margins of Russian literary studies, has gained in prominence and importance in the wake of Russia's war in Ukraine. This war has made clear to many in my research community, but also to most people in the West, that we need to do much more to understand the imperial dimensions of Russian culture.
So development economists generally are working on the question of why some countries are poor and others are not. And within that broad set of questions, my work, a lot of my research agenda has focused on the question, why are people reluctant to sometimes do things that appear to be good for them, that appear to be helpful to improve their livelihoods?
MacMillan is a community of choice in the sense that if you're a professor in a department that is highly theoretical or doesn't have anybody else who shares your particular geographic area of interest, that you find that part of yourself and others that you can discuss things related to your area of interest here at MacMillan. The combination of area studies interests or programmatic interests that are international together with what they get in departments really makes our faculty and our students feel happier and more productive and gives them a lot of intellectual sustenance along the way.
When I joined Yale in 2017, I turned to CLIES, to the Council on Latin American and Iberian Studies, looking for other faculty or members of the Yale community that share language and cultural ties with me. But what it has happened is that I I have been exposed to many different diverse research in Latin America, and my thirst to learn about the region has increased, and it has gained prevalence in my teaching too.
My work has focused particularly on environmental history and the history of migration, and my work is sort of evenly divided between looking at South Asia and looking at Southeast Asia. Being at MacMillan, where there are so many scholars, including graduate students and postdocs, who do fieldwork-based scholarship, has been very exciting because I feel like there are many points of alignment and a real shared sensibility in a belief that it's really important to talk to people, to understand the problems that we're studying from multiple perspectives.
It is a real privilege to meet such a group of smart, diverse students at a key stage in their lives, to work with them, to teach them, to learn from them, and then to keep up those relationships after they leave Yale.
There's a class I teach called, the Credo Paradox and the Social Dimensions of Evolution, and the students ask me, so why just do the community outreach? Why don't you make them active knowledge co-producers? So why do you need a PhD to identify a stone tool on your farm? And why do you need a PhD to identify a fossil? And I thought, that's interesting. And I tried it out, and it's given us amazing, amazing results.
Here at Yale, often engaging students in your research or teaching a course about the kinds of things you're doing actually engages the students at a higher level than if you were to teach a kind of survey course or a service type course. So it's a real dream to be able to share brand new ideas with students, and actually those students will transform the quality of the work that we're doing, right? At the same time, I think the students really enjoy being able to be in the mix as cutting edge research is being developed.